Alright. Good afternoon, everyone. Alright. For those of you who don't know what's going on today, keeping it simple, I'm making an updated Captain Falcon matchup chart. I haven't done one of these in a while. I wanted to have plenty of time to play on a Yuzu before I came to any real conclusions about, you know, what might or might not be for Falcon, things like that. I'm having more columns than in any previous before because I think Falcon beats more characters by harder levels than he ever did before, but he still has some matchups that are bad. So there's a lot of variety in it, you know? So I guess I should start off with this little guy right here. So I'm going to also go over all of these in some amount of detail as well. I'm going to explain every single matchup and my reasoning behind it. So Game & Watch is, in my eyes, solidly our worst matchup. But it's kind of based on the fact that I think there's a lot of stuff in the matchup that we could potentially optimize further to make it to where maybe one day, when Falcon makes it even further as a character, it will be -1. But I feel like he's basically -2 right now. And maybe -1 down the road, which is why I have him in this little tier right here. And he's probably the only character I've got in that tier, honestly. I don't think any other matchups are potentially -2 for Falcon at this point. He's really come so far as a character that I feel like his tools are good enough to where no character is going to beat us that hard anymore. But long story short, the reason that one is difficult is, sure, we have a massive speed advantage, but his massive range advantage combined with being able to low profile almost everything we can do, and also having really good combos on us, and also having insane edge guarding on us, and also negating most of our pressure, being really hard to combo, is kind of a bad combination. And all we really have on him is, if we get the right hits and the right positioning, sometimes we can kill him really early. And we also have a huge speed advantage, so movement-based reads can go a long way in the matchup, but I don't know. I definitely still need to find more stuff to do with it, because we can kill this character ludicrously early, and we're also way faster, so we can kind of make this character's life difficult sometimes. Not often enough to not lose it, though. And I'm not really going to be doing this in any particular order. I'm kind of just going to do it in whatever order of stuff I randomly think about, so poor Ganon. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we've got this. This matchup is so terrible for Ganon. Sure, he has good combos on us, and he can edge guard us pretty solidly as well, but his margin for error is absolutely non-existent. And absolutely everything he can do to us, we can do to him even better. And usually not just better, but way better. Our neutral, it is way easier to get hits. When we get hits, they tend to deal far more damage and or kill, especially if you have IDJ combos mastered. Or at least practice enough, because once you have them practiced enough, it's not unrealistic to zero death Ganon. And him literally not have anything he can do about it. That's not unrealistic at all, and that's kind of depressing for the character. That's something you can do to a decent amount of heavies, but it's especially bad with Ganon because of his terrible mobility and lack of options to just keep you out of his face. So you can kind of just get those hits and he kind of just has to take it. It sucks. Poor Ganon. This one's probably still only +1, but I think that his advantage state on us is far too good, combined with his great range and great speed, and his absurdly good ledge trapping on us. It's almost enough to make up for the advantages that we have on him, but I don't think it's quite enough. We can kind of just get a hit and take it way too far, which is a common theme with Falcon versus Heavies, honestly. Let's go over the first even matchup, and I'm gonna I'm not going to include alts in this just to keep it simple. Alright, so I think this matchup is even now. I think we lost it before all the recent developments and buffs for Falcon, but it's a really nuanced matchup for both characters for a lot of reasons. Our main reason for losing it before patch was if Peach just floated slightly above ground, we would lose access to pretty much all of our combo starters, and since we wouldn't have any combo starters, we wouldn't really have a way to deal with her just doing that. We would kind of just have to chip away and play a trade-focused game, whereas if she lands a single hit, we take like 60 damage. Or more! And that's just... we didn't really have a good way to deal with that because all of our combo starters were things that worked on grounded characters like grounded Nair 1, like dash grabs, you know? But then Raptor Boost changed. The Raptor Boost change made it to where she can't just do that anymore. Especially since Raptor Boost, with decent timing, will beat out every single one of her aerials. So it makes it to where she has to be so much more honest about how she plays neutral. She can't just rely on that one thing and just constantly leverage trades. Now there's value in her being grounded so that she can avoid Raptor Boost by shielding or things like that. But by doing so, she opens herself up to getting opened up by our grounded combo starters. Or if she decides to go far higher up by just full hopping or just floating higher. I mean, Falcon has some incredible sharking, so that's fine. For the most part, we have a speed and maybe very slight range advantage, but it's far easier for her to get hits that will lead to far more. And she ledge traps us far better than we can ledge trap her, and even though she's slow, her slipperiness makes it hard to get solid hits on her in the first place. And for the most part, both characters just have a ton of things they can do to balance out what the other character has to do. It's just a really... I genuinely believe it's a super even matchup. This one's probably even. This matchup is kind of weird. Her combo game on us is pretty ridiculous. It's not unrealistic for her to do like 80 damage off of a hit. She can edgeguard us pretty well too. And she's kind of slippery and neutral. On top of that, a lot of our IDJ combos don't really work on her because of Bat Within being frame 1. Conversely though, we generally have better range, we're far faster, and we can kill her ludicrously early, while still having decent combos on her, just nothing crazy. For the most part, we just win this matchup by winning neutral slightly more often than she does, and then just killing her way early. Because sure, she racks up damage on us way better than we rack up damage on her, but her lackluster kill ability, combined with us living forever, and us being able to kill her ludicrously early, makes her margin of error extremely small. It's just a fun matchup. I really enjoy it. Here's another fun even matchup while I'm thinking about it. This gentleman right here. So, in a lot of ways, I look at Chrom as being kind of like Sword Falcon. And for the longest time, he's just been so much better than Falcon that why would you play Falcon when you can just play Chrom on paper? I'm too low for my own good. But that's not really the case anymore. I think Falcon is good enough to where the two characters are at least comparable. Falcon might still be a little bit worse, but I think they're pretty close to being around the same good, honestly. We have a slight speed advantage, but he has range. We both have incredibly good combo games on each other, and we can both edgeguard each other pretty well, while also being extremely it's also extremely easy for both of us to die off stage for any number of reasons. Alright, so there's a decent chance this matchup might be even now, but... Roy's recovery is a little bit harder for us to deal with, because we can't contest it as easily. A lot of times Flare Blade or his up B will just go through a weak knee or other edgeguarding moves we can use. And the fact that he's it's much more horizontally centric, and a lot of our best edge guarding tools work really well against vertically centric recoveries. It's a lot harder for us to kill him off stage, usually, although he's still obviously pretty exploitable off stage. And he also just kills us a good bit earlier with things like jab to side B and stuff like that. The fact that it's a little bit harder for us to steal stocks, and it's also just that much easier for him to just get ludicrously early jab to side B kills or things like that. Jab back air or whatever. It still might be even, because obviously Roy doesn't do everything better than Chrom, but I don't know. I need to play the matchup more. Maybe more can be done to optimize other things, like edge guarding him better. So that's why I put him here instead of just -1 or just be overly optimistic and then call it even, you know? This matchup doesn't feel like it's that bad anymore, the more I've been playing it recently. Yeah, I'll just put him here just to be safe. No. Screw it, just -1. The only character that I'm doubtful about as far as losing matchups go is like this. Optimal Inkling in general doesn't really want to press forward. I think one of the reasons why the character often gets underrated is because not enough top Inklings are willing to play like that. And if they would, the character would start getting notably better results. As dumb as this is going to sound, I think you want to play this matchup almost as if you're Sonic, where the moment you get a hit, or just have a lead on them in any capacity whatsoever, you just camp. I'm sorry, but approaching this character is a nightmare. Usefully enough, though, it's pretty obnoxious for them to approach us as well if we camp out with our own back airs. And the main thing that changed before COVID and now is dash attack being a little bit safer combined with Raptor Boost being better means that our grounded combo starters being so much better makes it to where we can play a much safer neutral against the character, and then when we do decide to go in, we have tools that are extremely rewarding. In addition to that, we have pretty good combos on them. We kill them extremely early, and it's not that unrealistic to 2-frame with down air on up B either. But their combo game on us is definitely better than ours on them. They edge guard us and we can't really edge guard them for the most part. Mega Man. I think maybe one day this matchup will be +1, but for the time being, I think it's probably even. One thing that helped us a lot in that one last big patch for Falcon, which is I believe the Min patch, was Falcon Kick's hitbox being a little bit stronger on the ends makes it to where we can actually pretty reliably power through pellets. Combined with it being a little bit faster, it's just a little bit easier to go through that, and it makes it way easier for us to just force them to not use pellet as much. We had good tools for dealing with them when they're not just rapid firing pellets, but we didn't really have a good answer to rapid fire pellets before. And then the Falcon Kick Blessing came along, and it just made all the difference in the world. Yeah, I mean, we have incredibly good combos on them. We're way faster. And we just generally outpace them as far as the damage game goes. But unfortunately, they're gonna win neutral way more often than we do. And they can generally edge guard us better than we can edge guard them, although we can edge guard them a little bit. Isn't Kirby a bad matchup? No, not at all. Our grounded options improving so drastically has honestly made a huge deal. Yeah, I think what really changed in this matchup was in previous Smash game, like in Smash 4 for instance, we had a lack of grounded options that were good against crouching. But then in this game we ended up getting a way better dash attack, way better Raptor Boost, way better Falcon Kick, downward angled F tilt hitting crouches, and a bunch of other stuff. Our options against this character absolutely skyrocketed. And our combo game is often about as good on them as it is on us. Maybe a little bit worse in general, but we can convert into kills way easier than they can. Also, their edge guarding on us is really overrated. Kirby is so slow in the air that you can almost every single time react to their positioning and just avoid them and grab ledge or whatever, and there's usually not that much that they're going to be able to do about it. So a lot of their strengths against us are kind of an illusion, honestly. There's a good chance that we win the matchup, but since I'm not entirely sure, because I haven't played against any particularly good Kirbys in a long time, I think I'll just keep him here for now. Because in a lot of ways our combo game is comparable to theirs at this point on them. Except we're way faster and have more range and kill them earlier. This matchup might be even, but my uncertainty with it means that I'm just gonna put him here for now. Long story short, one thing that changed or something that hasn't changed is that Diddy's banana game on us is still really good. The main way that you deal with that as Falcon is to realize that a lot of the time when they're waiting to throw banana, they're waiting for you to commit to something obvious that they can react to with it, or they're waiting for you to do committal landing options. So a lot of the time against Diddy when they have banana, you just don't want to do that. You want to just run around almost as if you're Sonic and just not necessarily commit to options on the ground. That way, if they are going to throw, you can realistically shield it, or roll, or just get out of the way, or other things. And it makes a pretty big difference overall. And then of course, once you condition them to think, oh, I can't just freely throw banana every time that they land or seem like they're going to press a button, it encourages them to wait a lot more before they pull the trigger on it. And then once you get them in that mindset of waiting to pull the trigger, it becomes a lot easier to just hit them. Because they're not going to throw banana at you, so you can just run in and hit them while they're waiting for you to do something to react to. Like with dash grab, dash attacks, or raptor boost, falling in with an aerial or whatever. Usually you want to rely on grounded options though, because then they don't have time to react to a jump. Of course, the character's ledge trapping on us is really good. I don't think we can really do much about their recovery most of the time. We can edge guard them a little bit more in Smash 4, but their barrels being better in short term helps a lot specifically against us, while it's worse against characters with projectiles. There's no way in hell we don't beat this character. I don't think it's that bad for Dedede, but yeah, I think I'll just go with +1. The character has a massive range advantage on us. They can edge guard us pretty well. On top of that, they have a lot of tools for dealing with us coming in through the air with Gordo, with B reverse neutral B, and other things like that. For the most part, we can't really edge guard Dedede, unless they just do something dumb off stage. But since we can't really edge guard him, but he can edge guard us effectively, he has a massive range advantage and ways to keep us out if the Dedede's smart, and also can kill us pretty early. I really don't think it's that bad, but I think our punish game on him is just far too strong for him to be able to overcome that on a one-to-one basis, which gives us an advantage. This matchup in the current metagame is probably even, but I think there's a good chance that's going to slowly get better over time. But every single particularly good R.O.B I've been playing recently has been going from, man, this is a super even matchup. I feel like I'm single-handedly convincing a lot of really good R.O.B players that we beat him now. I don't think you probably haven't fully grasped just how much IDJ combos have really changed Falcon's life against a lot of these characters. Falcon's punish game with IDJ combos has gone to a point where it's not unrealistic for R.O.B to die at 0. Even like being dragged across the stage or anything like that. I've convinced Epic Gabriel that Falcon probably beats R.O.B. I've convinced Raffi X. I've convinced MJ. I've convinced Zomba. First of 10-year Robin MewTwo. Alright, if you get Parsec, I'm down. MewTwo feels pretty evenish to me. I think that he probably has a slight advantage in neutral with his better movement, Shadow Ball, great dash attack, and big aerials. Our combo game on him is obviously really good, but we don't usually get like super long combos on him if their DI is good. We kind of just get like a few hits, but we don't necessarily need more than that because of how light he is. Pretty much anything into Mii is going to be stupid good against this character. And for the most part, we won't really be able to edgeguard MewTwo, whereas he can absolutely edgeguard us. So I think he has probably a slight advantage in neutral and a slight advantage off stage. But we have the X factor of just killing him way earlier than he can realistically kill us, which balances it out at probably being even. Overall, that's how it feels to me anyway. Do the spacies? Okay, I could go over that. Let's see, who's the first one? Alright, Falco. This matchup is probably even. It's a really fun matchup where I feel like both of these characters kind of just destroy each other off of everything. In general, Falco's combo game on us is going to do a good bit more damage than our combos on him are going to do, but we're more easily able to combo into kills, which balances it out. We can edgeguard Falco really effectively, although he has tons of recovery mix-ups. He can also edgeguard us really effectively while we have a good amount of mix-ups that are relevant against him. Sure, we have a huge range advantage, but his hitboxes generally beat out ours. He has the laser, and he has side B, which is an incredible burst option against us in particular. And it's really effective for it's really easy for that for the matchup to go either way for either character. You can very easily just get hit once and get very close to, if not die, and it goes both ways. It's a really fun matchup for both characters. Let's see. I think Fox is also even. I think we used to lose this one slightly. It was probably -1 before all the buffs in 2020. Seriously, we got three separate patches where good things happen for Falcon. And it helps a lot. But we still have I think we slightly lose neutral. And we also have to deal with the fact that his frame traps on us are a lot better than our frame traps on him. But him being super light and a fast faller means that our combos on him are particularly good. We have counterplay for all of his tools. Raptor Boost in particular is ungodly against this character. Because of his short range, it will beat out almost all of his moves if you space and time it properly. And it makes it to where if Fox messes up, you can put him off stage or get like a knee combo around like mid to high percents and kill him. And he can't really edgeguard us at all. Whereas we can definitely edgeguard him pretty realistically, and it's really scary for him. Like if we downer him at like 20, if he tries to side B, there's a good chance that's probably just going to kill. Things like that. So while he has an advantage in maintaining his advantage state, and obviously in neutral, his mistakes just hurt a little bit too much. And we can live a pretty long time if we don't get like early up aired or back aired in the blast zone or something like that. So it's probably an even matchup at this point. Raptor Boost is such nice counterplay to just people who are just going to press too many buttons in general. I think the Raptor Boost change combined with IDJ being developed as a metagame concept are the two main things that really helped Falcon in so many matchups he used to lose. Because our character's main problem before was if a character was just pressing buttons, we usually couldn't do much about it. Because of our turnaround and also just our grounded movement not really being great. We didn't really have much to microspace combined with slow out of shield options, so A lot of times someone gets in our face and presses buttons, we couldn't really do anything about it. But now if we think someone's going to do that, we can Raptor Boost and it will pretty reliably beat that stuff out. So it forces a lot of characters to be a lot more honest about that stuff when they fight us, and you know, they have to play by the same rules that most other characters do without a shield options that are fast enough to deal with that. Yeah, Wolf is probably still even. I used to think that we might slightly win the matchup, but in a lot of ways, his recovery is a lot better than it's often given credit for. And in addition to that, trying to edgeguard him is a lot scarier than trying to edgeguard the others. If we mess up, for instance, off stage and get Wolf Flashed, that's obviously really bad. His punish game on us is extremely good and he can kill us extremely early. He has great combos on us, he outranges us, and he's got the gun and generally better frame data. But we have a huge range advantage. We're able to edgeguard him better than he can edgeguard us. And for the most part, everything one character can do to the other can do to them as well or around the same well, just in different ways. It's a really fun matchup for both characters. It's funny that I think we go even with all the Spaceys. And they're all pretty different. Kind of funny how that worked out. This matchup's probably also even, if I had to guess. I think we used to probably slightly lose it, but common theme here, Falcon got a lot better, so it's probably even now. His punish game on us is good, although usually not as good as ours on him. We can't usually edgeguard him very well, but he can edgeguard us. PK Fire can be annoying to deal with in neutral. It definitely makes it to where you have to walk a lot more in neutral, because if you just run around everywhere, because of our long initial dash animation, you won't be able to shield in time to react to PK Fire sometimes, so it forces you to play neutral a lot differently than you do against most characters. But assuming you do, it's completely fine. We can realistically get around it. We have crazy speed, we can kill him effectively off of our combos. And we have enough ways to get in to where it's completely fine. Ness, I think, is probably even as well. This matchup is like the Spaceys matchups in a lot of ways, where it's incredibly violent for both characters, but in different ways. Generally speaking, it can be kind of hard to hit Ness because of his small profile and large hitboxes, but he's also just so slow. Our massive speed advantage makes it to where even though he's far more easily able to not get hit by things to his size and has better range, I think neutral is probably about even, just because of our massive speed advantage. It forces him to be a lot more careful than he might have to against a lot of other characters, just because if we read the timing on something, we can generally get in. I think this matchup is probably even. I think we used to slightly lose it, but IDJ meta developments made it to where it's helped a lot with making our combo game more comparable to his on average. A lot of the time when he would hit us, he would get more than we would get when we hit him, and then he also just had such a huge advantage up close that he was able to leverage that and get wins. But it's probably even now because of further metagame developments and IDJ being more standardized. I think this matchup is probably even. It's really hard to hit Jigglypuff if they're smart about how they want to drift around in neutral and use crouching well, which can be absolutely a pain to deal with. She edgeguards us extremely well, and she has a pretty good combo game on us, and also some of Puff's newer IDJ stuff actually works really well on Falcon as well, to where her combo game on us is pretty good. She's able to edgeguard us really well. The main problems is that we still have a huge speed advantage. We can edgeguard her a little bit if we get reads, and mostly they just have to worry about Raptor Boost being able to beat out most of their moves if we time it well. in addition to us also being able to get really early kills on them. But overall, this matchup feels pretty balanced. I feel like whoever is playing better is going to win, assuming both players know the matchup enough to where you're not able to just gimmick the other by just using things that the other player just has no answer for, you know? I lean towards it being even, but I think there's a chance we still lose it. I don't know. Screw it. Optimistic time. Let's go even. One thing that helped a lot was the recent patch where they made it to where Raptor Boost had much more reliable armor combined with a much better angle. It made it to where Wizzy also only plays against bad Marios since playing Mii last and Nixie. Like, Nick and I both had really close sets with Wizzy pre-patch way before all the recent buffs and IDJ stuff and what have you. I think there's a good chance this matchup's even now. I'm not exaggerating when I say that Raptor Boost, if timed properly, can beat out pretty much every single one of their moves. Because of how stubby Mario's hitboxes are, Raptor Boost being so good against this character really just changes everything. They can't really just press buttons in our face and abuse their frame data anymore. We often outrange them and we're faster. Our combo game on them is pretty good, and while we can't really edgeguard them that well, we do have good ledge trapping. Although, obviously, his combo game on us is better than ours on him, but in general, I think there's a good chance this matchup is even now, so I've got a good feeling about it, so I'll put him in even. Oh boy. This poor character. We can realistically zero death this character off of one hit. Falcon versus Heavies turns into a Marvel versus Capcom character. And it's kind of tragic. We can still do stuff like that to characters that aren't Heavies, but it's way harder and far more situational, whereas it's not unrealistic to literally hit one of these characters once and they die. If he gets off stage, we can reverse out BM to death on reaction. There's usually very little you can do about it, if anything. If your execution is good and you just go into the stage and reverse out BM and just keep doing it over and over and over again, it's awful. Another Tough Times character. I'm not sure if this is... Yeah, it's probably also +3, honestly. It's +3 or +2. I think this one is a little bit better than these two, just because he's... Yeah, I'll put him in +2, actually. I feel like the fact that DK is so much faster, has really good grab confirms on us into kills, and is able to get meaningful hits on us. The main thing that changes for him is that he's so much faster in neutral, that it's a lot harder to just keep him from getting the stray hits that he wants. But we still destroy him. Like, we have a lot of the same strengths that we have on these other characters, but his neutral is so much scarier because of him being a lot faster, and his grab's just killing us. He can also edgeguard us really well too, although we can edgeguard him better. Yeah, DK can do some stuff against us, whereas I feel like if we play well, like you should not be losing to these characters. The Rodent. So I don't think this matchup is that bad anymore. It's probably only -1 at this point. A lot of our grounded options getting so much safer, like Raptor Boost being better, Dash Attack having 3 less frames of end lag, and then also Falcon Kick being 3 frames faster, makes it to where we actually have a lot of ways to challenge most of what they can do in neutral. We're able to combo him pretty well. We can get really early kills. And some of our longer range moves can actually wall out Pika pretty decently. But their combo game on us is still ungodly. We still have to deal with the fact that up air bridges in particular are pretty bad. Would you agree with that, Soki, that Pikachu is probably -1? I think it's a matchup that you get absolutely annihilated in if you don't know what you're doing. And then the more and more you learn about it, the more and more counterplay you find for pretty much everything they can do to us. And it becomes a lot more doable over time. As I've gotten more comfortable in the matchup, I much more often feel like there's something I can do in almost every situation. It really doesn't feel that bad to me anymore. With that in mind, I guess we'll rate the other rodent too. I think this one's even. Oh my god, we killed this character so early. Also, Pichu's complete and utter lack of range makes one particular move of ours just get absurdly good. You want to guess what it is? This is a common theme against short-range characters. Raptor Boost. Oh my god, Raptor Boost is good against this character. So fun fact, I tested this a while ago. Solidly timed Raptor Boost will go through literally every single one of their moves except for T-Jill. Every single one except for T-Jill. So if you read that Pichu is going to press a button, you can just Raptor Boost and it will beat it almost every single time. And then our Raptor Boost comboing into like back air or knee will kill at absolutely ungodly low percents. We can kill Pichu at like 50 with up smash. And sure, they have a huge frame data advantage, but we also have a big range advantage and they have to be so scared of our hits. They have a lot of the same strengths on us that Pikachu does, but their slight loss of range combined with them dying even earlier makes it to where getting hit is just horrifying. And we keep up well enough in neutral to where it is enough to make up for the deficiencies we have in the matchup. Yeah, I agree, Soki. The thing is that they still have stupidly good edge guarding on us. They still combo us extremely well, and they also have a frame data advantage to where if they get in, it can be really hard to get them out. But yeah, I was really just talking about the things that make it reasonable, because I know there's a common perception that the rats just destroy Falcon, and I don't think that's entirely true. Alright. We probably beat this character. I don't think it's that bad for Corrin, but long story short, they have really good range, but our massive speed advantage combined with us also comboing them harder and us both being able to edgeguard each other, for the most part, they have good punishes on us, but ours are usually better, and then we also have enough speed to where we can kind of ignore their range a lot of the time. They kind of just have to rely on getting a lot of hard reads, and just having really good mix-ups with their neutral, but in general, I think we win. Not by much. Obviously, you can't be like, oh, this is a free matchup, because then good Corrins can still absolutely beat you, but if you make sure that you know what you have going for you and you play well, you should be fine. We might slightly win, or it might be even, and I'm not entirely sure yet. I think that I could see it being slight Falcon favor, or it could be even. I'm just not entirely sure which yet. It's a really volatile matchup for both characters, but I think that the main thing that edges Falcon out is recent developments in his combo game. Let's do Cloud, I guess. This one's probably even. I think that Cloud has a slight advantage in neutral. He's able to rack up damage pretty effectively against us. He has really good ledge trapping. And his combination of fast options and his particular weight class makes it to where if the Cloud player knows how to DI effectively, it's usually pretty hard for us to get good combo starters on him. But for the most part, he won't really be able to edgeguard us, whereas we can edgeguard him really well. It's not unrealistic for us to kill Ike at like 0, because we'll just get him off stage and kill him. We're usually only one read away from killing him if we get him off stage. And while getting our good combos in him are harder than a lot of other characters, we still have like Raptor Boost, IDJ, double up air into knee. We still have just Raptor Boost stuff in general. We still have Nair 1 to knee, Nair 1 down air, and a bunch of other stuff. But while he has the range advantage, we also generally do more damage than he does to us, so we're often able to make up the damage he gets on us in neutral pretty quickly. And we're also just able to kill him off of random reads a lot better than he can for us, although he also has really good hard read tools. It's probably even. I think that we probably slightly beat Ryu. I think his neutral is a lot worse against us than Ken's because of his slower speed, and Hadouken's not really like a problem for us. If you play a really aerial focused neutral against Ryu, yeah, he has good confirms on us, but I really don't think it's enough to make up for our huge speed advantage. Being able to go through Hadouken with Falcon Kick, being able to get extremely good combos in him that outpace their combos on us. And also we can edgeguard him really well, whereas he can't really edgeguard us, but he also just has hitbox. He's able to pretty consistently outbox us. His confirms into kills are more consistent than ours. And he's able to fight in a larger variety of terms, but his mistakes just hurt way more. His mistakes / our hard reads are what ultimately close it out for us. Ken, on the other hand, I think that matchup's probably even now. I think we used to lose it, but you know, recent buffs and IDJ combos being developed changed a lot of things for Falcon. Where is he? This matchup's probably even now. He has a lot of the same disadvantages that Ryu has, but his he is a lot better able to get rewarded for hard reads, kind of similarly to us. In a lot of ways, Falcon and Ken play kind of similarly in the context of each other. They both have pretty safe combos that you can potentially extend with hard reads, and he has immense reward for doing it. Ken's punish game on us is pretty ridiculous. His Hadouken is solid, although not crazy. It does make it to where things change a lot. Alright, so this matchup's kind of weird, but I think it's probably even. He's able to keep us out decently, but I don't think he's able to do it enough to where you can rely on that as a strategy. I think for the most part, it's he wants to keep us out just long enough to where he's able to get resources to make boxing good for him. We have pretty good punishes on him, and our confirms into kills are also great on him. But he's able to keep us out well. If he does decide to start boxing, he has really good tools for it with jab and up tilt. You have minecart shenanigans, which give him a pretty good burst option if you've got enough iron. And his combo game on us is pretty absurd. It's not unrealistic for a good Steve player to get 60 damage at 0 off of one hit. And not just one hit, but like a bread and butter tool that is pretty safe, you know? And it can also be kind of hard to edgeguard him, and while he doesn't really edgeguard us that well either, he does have pretty good ledge trapping, which kind of makes up for it. Although we still have a huge speed advantage. We're still far better able to combo into kills than he can, and it kind of forces Steve to be perfect. And even if he is, we can still read his options and punish him. But it feels like a very read-based matchup for both characters, just in different ways. Everyone's favorite green dinosaur, Yoshi. This one feels pretty even to me as well. This matchup feels very movement-based, where for the most part, if Yoshi feels like camping, it's pretty hard for Falcon to get in or get solid reads on his movement, but it goes the other way too, but they just do it in different ways. Yoshi has really slippery aerial movement, whereas we rely more on slippery grounded movement. Our combos are good on him, Mr. Mayor. You just have to have really good execution. Once your execution reaches a certain level, and you're able to combo Yoshi effectively, then you're fine. He's got a ton of them, Mr. Mayor. You've got Nair 1 into whatever at lower percents. You've got Raptor Boost into other stuff. You've got up air chains. You've got back air chains, you've got down air into whatever. Falcon has a lot of combos on Yoshi, they're just usually really tight. Yoshi more than anything bodies bad Falcon. Like, I think if you aren't good against Yoshi, then it's very easy to get bodied, but assuming you both are good at the matchup, it feels pretty even to me. I remember, even before all the Falcon buffs, I was slowly convincing a lot of the top Yoshis that the matchup was close to even. Even though I thought Yoshi still won back then. And then all the buffs and IDJ stuff happened, and I see no reason why it wouldn't be now. The Monado boy? Okay, this feels like a -1 or even. I think that it can be pretty hard to get in if the Shulk player is able to manage their arts well. And comboing is not exactly great either because of shield art, but you can still edgeguard him pretty well. Assuming he doesn't have shield art, our punish game on him gets really scary because of his slow options. And we can edgeguard him, although he can also edgeguard us. Well, the main thing that I think makes it to where this matchup is arguably even, and that is that Shulk's combo game on us is really not that great. Like, sure, he'll generally win neutral, but he's not usually going to get that much out of any given neutral win. Like, he'll get decent damage, but he's a character that'll be forced to reset neutral a lot after getting punishes on us. Whereas we can push our advantage state in combos a lot further than he can if he doesn't have shield art. And it makes a really big difference. And we also have pretty decent counterplay even against shield art with like up smash, rapid jab, and other things. Let's do Joker. I think this matchup is I didn't think it was that bad in previous patches, but common theme, Falcon got a lot better, so... Our main problem against him before was that we didn't really have good ways of boxing with him at mid-range. Raptor Boost becoming really good combined with IDJ combos and other things makes it to where, generally speaking, our combos are going to be better than his on us. We can edgeguard him pretty effectively even with Tether, with weak knee and a bunch of other stuff. And if he has Arsene, we can 2-frame him with down air pretty free. And it's really scary for them to deal with. In addition to that, even when he has Arsene, we have decent amount options to deal with it with our great mobility. Our great mobility makes it to where a lot of the time if Joker has Arsene and you play more defensively and just use an occasional burst option to interrupt them running in, it's not unrealistic for you to not get hit when they have Arsene, which makes a pretty big difference. And while his edge guarding on us is good, it usually forces them to be really precise because of his relatively small hitboxes. So it's not unrealistic for us to just get around it if you read how they're going to try and edgeguard you. And then we have a general speed advantage. We're able to kill him a lot earlier. Like, our early kills on him are more reliable than his early kills on us because his pretty much require Arsene, whereas ours are always available. Our combo game on him with IDJ has gone really good, to where it's not unrealistic for us to be able to do something like Nair 1 at 30 into a kill, for instance. Or Raptor Boost near a platform at 30 into a kill, or a bunch of other stuff like that. It forces him to be really perfect, and obviously they can do that, but it feels evenish to me. Alright, someone mentioned Young Link, I can't remember who, I'll go over that. This one also feels even to me at this point. Maybe there's a slight argument that we lose it, but it kind of takes forever for him to kill us. That's the main thing that makes such a big difference, is that Raptor Boost beating pretty much all of his close-up options makes it to where his zoning, he has to rely more on zoning against us than usual. And we have good options for that, like being able to catch up with Falcon Kick. We have a lot of our landing aerial combos on him are really good. Young Link being a fast faller makes it to where even though he's light, we're able to combo him really well. Obviously his combos on us are generally better, but he's not really able to confirm them into kills the vast majority of the time. The fact that we're able to kill him so much earlier than he can kill us makes up for his damage output and slight neutral advantage. And then we're able to not only just get really good combos into kills on him, but even though he wins the damage war, in a lot of ways our damage is more meaningful, even if we get less of it per exchange. Just because we're able to kill him so much earlier, we probably need to win neutral less than he does, even though he does more damage. And our hard reads on him are just insanely good. We can edgeguard him really well too, and it just helps a lot. Also, up B out of shield is ungodly good against this character, and it makes it to where they had to be really careful about their close-up options. But obviously they still can 100% do fine in it. I feel like we still lose to Luigi. I don't know. I'm gonna put him in here because I think our metagame could develop to a point where it is even, but his 0 to deaths on us are super free. His punishes in general, even without it, he can realistically do like 80 damage off of something without it. He can edgeguard us pretty well. For the most part, our combos on him are good, but they're not that great because IDJ combos for the most part don't really exist on Luigi because of down B, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. We can't really get our best combos on him, whereas if he hits us, we can take 80 or die. It's just the punish game in this matchup is just so extremely skewed towards Luigi. And while we have a great speed advantage, one mistake can realistically killed you at 0, regardless of your DI. And there's not really while our disadvantage is better than his disadvantage against us, he still has down B, he still has Nair, air dodge. He has a decent amount of options in disadvantage, even if all of them are super easily punishable, but I think for the time being I'm gonna put it in -1. I'm not confident that it's going to change and become even. So I think I'll just have him in -1. His punish game on us is just far too good. And what we have elsewhere is just not able to make up for it usually. Let's see. Another matchup that's I lean towards this matchup being even now, but I could see my mind being changed on it. I think our burst options becoming way safer is enough to make it to where it's... I lean towards it being even, but... It's really hard to say. These are just matchups I need to play more offline or on Yuzu before I'm able to be more confident whether we lose or win them or not. Or I'll lose or go even in them. ZSS, I think we still lose this matchup. I think it's better than it used to be. Although I think this matchup is absolute garbage online. I'm gonna go on record. I think this is worth noting because some of you might not be thinking about this. But this matchup chart is exclusively based on what these matchups either are or what I think they're like offline. Online versions of these matchups are not considered in the slightest. So yeah, usually we can punish things she does, but she's mostly just absurdly safe, has a pretty good punish game on us, and also is able to edgeguard us pretty well. And even though she might be worse, she's probably worse online in general. I think we do worse against her online just because the stuff that we can only barely punish offline is now unreactable. And pretty much everything she does becomes unreactable online, and she can just win neutral pretty free. If we're really paying attention and we have an idea of what they're going to do, we can react and punish stuff, whereas we just can't offline. Or online, my mistake. And we still have decent combos on them, but they're not like that great because of flip kick. and her being pretty light. I don't know, Zakara. I don't pay attention to online matchups. Let's see. I don't know about these two. I kind of want to put it in a... I think there's a good chance these two are even, but I'm not really super confident about it. It can be hard to get in. They edgeguard us really well, and their disadvantage state is super good. And we're not really that great at comboing them either. But we still have pretty solid punishes on them, and I think there's a good chance that with IDJ these matchups are even, but I haven't really gotten to play against good Marth or Lucina since a lot of that stuff was developed. So because I'm not entirely sure about it, I'll put them here, even though I think there's a decent chance that we might go even against them. Bowser Jr. is kind of like... in a lot of ways, I consider Bowser Jr. to be Discount Sonic. He's like a dollar store brand, basically, where a lot of his neutral kind of works the same with Clown Car and other things. And while he has more range than Sonic, Clown Car being so much worse, combined with us being able to combo him way harder, makes it to where he doesn't really have the neutral advantage that Sonic would have. And while his combo game on us is also better than Sonic's combo game on us, I think that a lot of the things that he can do to us, we can do just a little bit better to him, which leads to it being a little in our favor. I don't have that much to say about it other than that. Let's see. Link feels pretty even. This matchup is like... it's similar to the Young Link matchup in that he can generally outbox us in like the super close range. He can edgeguard us really well, and he has really good combos on us, but we have better combos on him. We can usually edgeguard him as well, if not even... well, I think our edgeguarding him is about as good as his on us. We also have a massive speed advantage, but he's also able to kill us off of raw hits far easier than Young Link. Overall, it feels pretty even to me, honestly. Let's see. Ice Climbers actually feels even to me. It's another somewhat unusual matchup, but it's kind of like a more balanced version of the Luigi matchup, where their grabs are obscenely strong against us, and their disadvantage can be rough, but they don't really have get-out-of-jail-free cards. Sure, their neutral is more dynamic than Luigi's, but not getting zero death constantly helps a lot. Also, if we're able to separate Popo and Nana, we're usually able to kill Nana pretty effectively. You can smash 64 ladder combo her and she won't air dodge, so you can just get super free kills if you separate them and get her in the air with the up air, up air, up B. And it makes a pretty big difference. What do I think of the Mii Brawler matchup? While that's being brought up, I think it's probably even. If you're smart about how you play in disadvantage, you can make it pretty hard for them to get good kill confirms on us. And while they have a massive frame data advantage, their pretty short range makes it to where Raptor Boost can stop them pretty easily if they're going to just mash. We still have pretty good combos on him. We can edgeguard him a lot better than he can edgeguard us. And we also have a pretty solid range advantage to where we can keep them out pretty effectively, and then we also have Raptor Boost for when they are about to get in. It's a really volatile matchup, especially since they have a pretty good combo game on us. But I feel like their inability to consistently close out kills at lowish percents is what keeps it from being their favor. Being dumb, I want to place her here. She has pretty good ways of keeping us out, but we can get in really effectively with our crazy speed. We have really good combos on her, and we're able to kill her super early. But I think her ability to keep us out, combined with decent combos, amazing edge guarding, and just versatility in her tools, makes it to where there's a decent chance it's even, but I could also see it being a little bit in our favor as well. Alright. So, I think that we still lose to Palutena, although it's usually not that bad. She can kind of dominate neutral, and also has really good punishes on us, is able to ledge guard, or is able to edge guard and ledge trap us really effectively. It's a bit spooky for us to deal with, but something that helps a lot that I've been developing recently, or certainly helps a little bit, but I need to work on it more, is I need to get better with a footstool Falcon kick. That might make our out of shield game against her good enough to where it makes a pretty big difference, but it's something I still gotta work on more for sure. And we do have good punishes on her, but I feel like pretty much everything she has on us is more reliable than what we have on her. So it ends up making enough of a difference to where she still wins, but I don't think it's that bad. I want to say it's even, honestly. It really doesn't feel that... I used to think that Falcon beat Byleth, but a lot of recent meta developments to make it to where if the Byleth is good enough, they can make up for a lot of that. I think it's a matchup where Falcon, like low-level Falcon beats low-level Byleth, and mid-level Falcon beats mid-level Byleth, but high-level Falcon and high-level Byleth feels even-ish to me. Getting in can be pretty hard. In addition, their punish game on us is really good. Their ledge trapping with forward smash is horrifying, and we don't really have much we can do about it a lot of the time. They can edge guard us pretty effectively, but we can't really edge guard them. It's also pretty hard to ledge trap them. It can be just really hard to maintain advantage. We kind of just have to get really good combos to kill, or it can be really hard to get those meaningful kills. I feel like they win more parts of the matchup than we do, but the things we win harder. So it balances out to being even-ish. I want to say this matchup's only +1. At a glance, you would expect it to be way worse, honestly, but Incineroar's combo game on us is really good. They're able to box with us really effectively, especially with side B. They can ledge trap us really effectively with down tilt. Their raw hits are just horrifyingly good. They have good combo breakers. And they have a lot of ways of forcing really scary reversals on us that force us to be really careful both in advantage and when we're edge guarding them. And because of their significantly smaller size compared to a lot of heavies, our combo game on them is a lot less ridiculous than it is on, say, like, these three right here. He's still really slow, though, and we still combo him harder than he combos us, but his hitboxes are able to pretty reliably beat out ours, which makes a big difference in the matchup and helps him a lot overall. Pac-Man, someone mentioned that. This matchup feels even to me. It can be pretty hard to get in, but we're able to make up enough ground when we do get in to make up for it for the most part. We can edge guard them, they can edge guard us, but they're generally better at edge guarding us than we are them. We're also able to kill them far earlier than they can kill us, but they have enough of an advantage in neutral to where they can kind of make up for that. And they also have some really scary combos with the Galaga projectile, or like fair strings off stage. They have enough going for them in the matchup to where it feels pretty even to me, honestly. I'm gonna kind of hurry at this point because I have some other stuff I'm doing at 2:30. This matchup feels even to me, honestly. We're probably have a slight disadvantage in neutral, but a lot of our grounded options becoming safer, like dash attack, like Raptor is becoming more reliable. and Falcon Kick getting better, combined with us being able to kill Greninja really early, has done a lot to make the matchup way better for us. It really doesn't feel bad to me at all. And I know that Nick C also feels really comfortable in this matchup, and he plays Vinya all the time. I think this matchup's probably even, honestly. Alright, let's skim over some winning matchups. Since someone said Falcon doesn't have very many winning matchups, let's change that real quick. I think that we probably beat Mii Gunner at this point. It was probably evenish before, but then our punish game got way better, and then our stuff got way safer for the most part. They can kind of keep us out, but they don't usually get that much reward for it, and their punish game on us is pretty lackluster for the most part. The main thing we have to worry about is getting ledge trapped, honestly. Meanwhile, if we get hits, we're able to combo them into kills pretty effectively. IDJ combos are really good against them. The Raptor Boost and Falcon Kick changes help a lot. And you're able to dash attack more freely against them because of it being 3 frames safer than it used to be as well. See, this matchup is... I'm gonna put him there. We might slightly beat Meta Knight. Actually, I think we do. In a lot of ways, it used to be even in Smash 4, but Meta Knight got worse and we got better. We have a pretty solid advantage in neutral. We are able to combo him a lot better than he can combo us. The main thing he has going for him is that he can get really scary punishes. He can kill us at 0 far more reliably than we can kill him at 0, and his edge guarding becomes horrifyingly good against us. It makes a big difference. Not really Drux, sadly. But I think that pretty much everything Meta Knight has on us, we have on him, except better, except for a huge advantage off stage. I feel like this is... I don't know if it's +1 or +2. I kind of lean towards +2. Poor Isabelle kind of gets bodied. I think we used to beat her before COVID, and then Falcon got way better. To be honest, Fishing Rod's not even that bad for Falcon. It's only really bad if you're just gonna recover at the exact same timing every single time. For the most part, you can just... If you just mix up your ledge timings, then they're going to miss. In addition to that, we have a pretty big advantage in neutral. We're able to win the up-close game, we can win from a distance. We can often edgeguard them as well, if not better, than they can edgeguard us. All they really have is they can sometimes edgeguard us well, but a lot of the time, pretty much everything that she has good on us, we can do better, except our significant speed advantage combined with our also way better combos just makes too much of a difference for her to be able to overcome it. It just seems pretty bad to me. I think Villager is a little bit better. He has Bowling Ball, he has better boxing options, and Tree helps a lot with ledge trapping as well. Villager is probably not as bad, but I definitely think that we beat him as well. It might be +2, but he's probably like a weak +1, I guess. Ridley, I think that's a +1. It used to be evenish, but then, common theme, Falcon got a lot better. IDJ stuff getting developed made a huge difference to where we can get far more damage off of our average hits. He still has a ludicrously good advantage state. Maybe... Honestly, Ridley has one of the best advantage states in the game. It's a pity he doesn't have that much else, but he has solid range, great speed, so I don't think it's that bad. He's definitely one of the heavies that does best against us, for sure. Doc or Snake next? Sure, we can do Doc. He has a great combo game on us. He's able to edgeguard us extremely well, although we edgeguard him better. I think that for the most part, we just have a slight advantage in neutral because of our speed. We're able to convert kills a little more reliably than he can, although he can often kill us earlier than we can kill him, if he does get what he wants. Alright, so I'll just go over both of these at the same time. I'll do this. Alright, so for the most part, they have decent combos on us and they can edge guard well. But our superior mobility, superior combos, and occasionally better range does a lot to make it to where we just kind of outclass them in general. Especially since the main thing that is the difference maker in this matchup is that we kill him so much earlier than he kills us outside of a hard read off stage. We have to win neutral like a few less times to secure a stock than they do because of how much earlier we kill. And that's the main thing that makes a difference, because it would probably be pretty even otherwise, honestly, if they were able to kill us as reliably as we can them. PT, that matchup is something like this. I think that I kind of lean towards it being even, but I also haven't played a really good Pokemon trainer in a long time, so maybe I still need to make some more ground up in the Squirtle matchup. We definitely don't lose to the other two Pokemon, but I think there's a decent chance that the matchup's even now against Squirtle, but like if we lose this matchup, it's just because of a slight disadvantage to Squirtle and nothing else. I really do lean towards it being even though. I think we are even or slightly favored against Ivysaur and then solidly favored against Charizard. It's literally just Squirtle. Wait, who is Wii Fit trainer? Oh, I think we probably beat them at this point. Their main counterplay against us before was abusing pancaking with crouch and stuff like that, and just playing safe by the ledge. But Raptor Boost and Dash Attack getting so much better made it to where we're able to much more effectively get in. And then when we do get in, we're able to do so much more damage than they do outside of like the situational deep breathing combos. But I really don't think that their advantages are enough to compensate for ours at this point. Banjo? I think we beat Banjo. It's probably even online because lol, but I don't really care about that, so it doesn't matter. I think offline we definitely have a solid advantage on them. Their combo game is pretty lackluster against us, and while they probably have a slight advantage in neutral, their lackluster punish game, outside of like Wonder Wing hard reads, becomes increasingly noticeable when we win neutral and do so much more than they do. Little Mac. Little Mac doesn't feel that bad to me, although I think we win. It might be +2, but it's kind of hard to say, honestly. It's definitely a lot better online. It's +1 or +2, and I just can't decide which. Sephiroth, I think it's even or +1. We probably win this matchup, but I also haven't played a top Sephiroth. I haven't played like a top dedicated Sephiroth yet. And there are a lot of things they have in the matchup that could make it seem even-ish, so for the time being I lean towards him being our favor, but like obviously I'll need to play against like Tweak Sephiroth or MK Leos if he ends up taking the character seriously, or there are others but I'm just having a brain fart, so I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Alright, Lucario, someone mentioned them a little bit ago. I think that we probably beat this character pretty solidly. Probably only +1 just because of how insanely good later stages of Aura are against us. Like, I genuinely believe that, like, Lucario, if he lives to, like, 120, he now wins the matchup. Because of the massive range increase combined with how big Aura Sphere gets. I legitimately think that it turns into a losing matchup specifically at those percents. But I think it's a winning matchup for Falcon up until then, and there's a decent chance that Lucario won't even live to reach that point. Alright, I think we still lose this matchup, although it's not like terrible or anything. We can't really IDJ combo him at all, which is a pretty big deal because of grenades. Like, most IDJ combos are really close to frame perfect against air dodges. So the few characters with frame 1 options are able to kind of get rid of that, to where IDJ combos for the most part aren't going to be a thing against them, except like fringe higher percents. Oh, I theta? So I'm gonna finish this matchup chart, then I'm gonna take a short bathroom break, then I'll be ready to play. Sorry for being a little behind schedule. But I'll be ready after this in a short bathroom break. Alright, did I do Belmonts yet? No matter, I'll do it now. Where's the other? These are probably +2 at this point, honestly. No, I'll just do +1. They are able to keep us out pretty effectively. They have really scary punish options, but I think our speed combined with being able to kill them effectively will be able to make it enough of a difference maker. I lean towards us losing to Min Min, but maybe further optimizations could be made that change that, but I lean towards us losing this matchup with seeing a possibility of it being even down the road. So you can think of it as being -1 now. Maybe it'll be even in like half a year to a year. It's so hard to get in against this character, even for us, which says a lot. I think Falcon probably beats Mii Swordfighter at this point. I used to think it was even-ish, but I think his recent patch of buffs that he got in like the last 6 months made it to where he'd probably have a slight advantage on Swordfighter at this point. Same with Gunner. Oh, I really am behind schedule. Alright, another -1 that I'm confident we still lose is Wario. While we have really good combos on him, and we have a speed advantage, his massive aerial advantage is able to circumvent that for the most part. Our mobility's around the same good in a lot of ways. Like, having that kind of aerial drift is so absurd in this game. Especially since a lot of his combos are off of falling aerials as well. It makes it to where even the slightest mistakes can realistically lead to you taking 80% or more, or just dying. It's a scary matchup, but our speed combined with our good combos makes it to where we're able to keep up, but his superior punish game combined with him being able to kind of edgeguard us and us not really being able to edgeguard him is what makes the big difference at the end of the day and leads to him winning, I think. Let's see. Hero. Pretty confident that we beat Hero. I don't think it's that bad for Hero because they can cheese us pretty effectively, which they can do to literally everyone. They have a range advantage. And they can zone decently, but their mistakes just hurt too much. Their mistakes in our reads, that is. And of course we have a big speed advantage outside of like Acceleratal too. Let's see, I think we beat Toon Link. I don't think it's like too much in our favor, but his relatively lackluster combo game is what keeps it from being an even matchup, because neutral is pretty it's pretty okay for Toon Link. He can edgeguard us decently. He has a decent disadvantage state. He has plenty of solid mix-ups and other things. He just loses the damage war too much in order to keep up. If he had a better combo game, it would probably be an even matchup like the other Links. I think we probably win this matchup. I haven't played like Top Zelda offline in forever, because it's a completely different matchup online, but they are able to keep us out decently, and I think that they're also able to edgeguard us pretty well, but our significant speed advantage, reliable kill confirms, and counterplay for Phantom and other things makes it to where things do change a good bit. Let's see, Sheik. This one's hard. I'm gonna go with even. every fiber of my being wants to say even if on some level I can acknowledge that there's a chance that it might not be with further optimizations, but a lot of recent optimizations for Falcon make it a pretty big deal. And the up smash buffs that they gave Falcon recently are huge against Sheik. We have an option that just makes for... If we read that they're going to come in with up smash, we can kind of spam it against them a little bit, which is really annoying for them to deal with. And it being more reliable and stronger means that we can kill them absurdly early with it. And it forces them to be extremely careful with a lot of their approach options. That combined with Raptor Boost makes a pretty big deal. Dash Tag is also relatively safe against them and is often hard for them to react to. We have good burst options, we have solid combos but not as good as theirs on us. The main problem in this matchup is that they can edgeguard us far better than we can edgeguard them. We mostly have to rely on ledge trapping. And they both outdamage us, and they also, if they get in, it can be extremely hard to keep them out. Or to get them out, rather. But we have pretty good tools for keeping them out. We have the ability to kill them far earlier than they can kill us outside of reads. And we're better able to confirm into kills as well, which is a pretty big deal. I think before the most recent patch, I thought that this matchup was probably slight Falcon favor. But that recent buff he had to where he's able to sequence his Pikmin more effectively into like aerials or other things made it to where he's able to box up close far better than he used to be able to. And he has both decent boxing options up close in addition to an amazing long range game. Main problem is that we have counterplay for all of that. We're able to kill Pikmin pretty effectively. We're able to get in and power through a lot of his moves with smart decision making. This matchup is spooky for both characters, but in different ways. Oh my god, her ledge trapping on us is horrifying. Let's see. She has insanely good confirms on us with Charge Shot. She has pretty good up air combos into other things. She's able to pretty effectively get down air at mid percents into forward smash or other scary things. She's able to edge guard us pretty decently as well. What we mainly have against her is our combos on her are super good and generally a lot stronger than her combos on us. We're able to get in decently with a massive amount of speed. And we're also able to edge guard her a little bit, but smart Samus recovery off stage is usually pretty hard for us to deal with. And it forces you to go for high commitment hard reads in order to be able to kill her off stage most of the time. Let's see. Got a few more characters to go over. I think this matchup used to be even-ish, but Falcon got a lot better. He can keep us out decently, but he's not really able to make up for it the rest of the time, which I think we have an advantage off stage. Although one thing he does have that keeps it from being worse is that Duck Hunt is able to deal with IDJ stuff because it can pretty well. So despite what you would think at a glance, the fact that he's able to shut down a lot of our IDJ combos definitely helps a lot for survivability. Helps him a lot. Let's see, Piranha Plant. We definitely beat Plant, but I'm hesitant to say it's +2. It's probably only +1. They have good punishes, they have better range than us, they have pretty decent edge guarding. They're usually not easy for us to edge guard either. Plant actually does pretty decently against Falcon. Their particular fall speed combined with their size makes them harder to combo than you would expect in a lot of ways. They have pretty decent juggles on us with up tilt, up airs, and other things. They have really good stuff with Patui, which since we don't have projectiles or any like super long range moves, can be particularly annoying for us to deal with. And they're really good at forcing lots of trades and also edge guarding us. But we still have enough advantages with our speed and elsewhere to where we win, but it's not by that much, honestly. And I think we beat Robin, which closes it out. Let me save this real quick. Alright guys, that's the final chart for you.